What? What? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? You want to go outside? You want to go outside? You want to go outside? Yes. I know you so well. I know you so well. Come here. Ah, yeah, Papa. Yeah, we're gonna go outside. We're gonna go outside. As soon as I drink my coffee. You just went walking for 2 miles. What more do you want? Oh. Oh, you're a character. You're a character. Okay. Oh, there's a break in the weather. It's been raining for the past 2 days. Still has that good flavor. It's not biting. It never did. So I think I found a batch, a good batch of H. Upman, number 20. Oh, here's another things that the old Cubans used to do. I haven't seen this done in a long time. They go in there and they dip it in the coffee. Like that. Some people dip it in their alcohol. Whatever drink they're having. You could do that. So I got a call from the shop, so I just came from there and he showed me the block. It's ready. They already baked it twice, he says, because it was corroded. There's a lot of stuff that came off, so it's pretty clean. It looks like aluminum, but it's cast iron. And the only thing he was concerned about is that where the starter connects to the block, that there's a little flat surface about this size, and it was kind of pitted. So he told me to shimmy it and put a little piece of metal in there. And I said, I don't think it really needs it, but you know, what I'll do is I'll put a bead of gasket material around the edge of it, and then when I put the starter, it'll seal it, and there's no more humidity going in there. You tighten it down, and that will prevent. Because he says, no, get a little shimmy and metal. He goes, yeah, but if you do this on one side, it's going to have a gap on the other, and you're going to have humidity in there. And he said, well, put some silicone. I don't know. I don't think I need to shimmy it because we didn't have a problem installing the last starter, but maybe the guy that installed it didn't really tighten it up well, and humidity got in there, and it started eating the metal. It's not that bad. It's just a little pitted, nothing really that serious. So it's coming along, and with these rains, my helper hasn't been able to paint the bilge because it's been cold and it's been in the 50s and early 60s, and then it's been raining and then drizzling. So, and he needs a hot day to really go in there and clean it up. And then, well, he already cleaned it. He needs to go there and start painting. So I think the engine's going to be done in another 2 more weeks, I guess. The heads are done. The heads are done. They're all painted. He's got all the springs and the valves and everything. So the only thing he needs to install is the rockers. And he's getting those new ones. He already ordered them. Still going out. I wonder why. Uh, it's got a good smell. The I remember that show, that program on Colombo. He used to always smoke those green cigars. I'm going, where to get those things? Green. And every time I go to a cigar store, I never seen any green cigars. There's got to be some brand that specializes in that. I mean, the leaf has to be cured, and it has to be dry for you to smoke it. So if it's green, how can it burn? So I don't know. That was the only person I saw him. Anyway, so later, yeah, still early. I think I'm gonna take a drive down to Turner's and see if they have that. Well, first I'm gonna call, prevent the drive, Call and see if they have that Taurus. I'm kind of curious. I want to see it. That Taurus 44. And some guy said that the 44 Magnum makes less noise than a 357. I did have a 357 that if you didn't have any ear protection, you would go deaf. You couldn't hear anything for a few minutes after the shots because your ear would start making sounds and noises. So if you had the radio on, you couldn't understand what they were saying. And I think it's because of the gap. I'm gonna buy those shim. What's it called? It's a gauge, metal gauge. Put it between the chamber and the barrel of my gun and see what the gap is, because that will make the noise. If the gap is big, it will make the noise louder. So maybe that was the problem with that gun. There's another gun that I want to see. It's called the 480 Ruger. 480, if you're going to go by the numbers, 44 and then 48. 48 is bigger diameter. I've never seen that gun. I'm kind of curious to check it out. But these are particular guns that you're probably going to have to order. A lot of the stores are not going to. Maybe if you're in bear country, in Alaska, they probably have it in stock. But down here in the city, I don't know. That's going to be kind of, if you're lucky, you can find it, I like to shoot one. And I called the store on the next city, and they said they had a consignment gun with a 6-inch barrel. So I know it's going to be a big gun. And I don't want that. I want 4 inches. 3.5, 3 3/4, 4 inches. See, that's all this guy wanted. He just wanted to be out here with me and sit down. And when there's traffic, just to check out the traffic, he's sitting right down there. Because my wife took him to the park. They walked down 2 miles, around 2 miles. He should have enough of it, right? No. If you let him, he'll run all day. And he's 14 and a half years old. I'm very amazed that he's got this energy. He's got more energy than me. He's a real sweet boy. So I'm gonna start loading the 38s. I got a bunch of lead ammo that I have to load, and I have semi-watt cutters. I think I have a bag of semi-watt cutters, and I got a bag of 158 grain hollow point copper jacketed. I'm gonna start loading those and putting them in boxes. I gotta check my book, and then I gotta do the ballistics on the ballistic calculator. And see what it's better for the gun as far as power and pressure, and then go and start loading for that. Man, it's gonna rain again. Jesus Christ. Well, at least this dumb people is not gonna be talking about a drought. Like this comedian said, if it's raining and you have a drought, he said you got a problem. You're never satisfied. Papa's getting cold here. We're gonna go inside. All right, guys. I think I'm going inside because it's getting okay. Back in the garage. Um, so the 357 Magnum and 158 grain semi wad cutter. It takes 6 grains of unique powder and it gives you 1,034 feet per second velocity. If you use bullseye, it takes 4.3 grains and it gives you 800, and that's the low. 848. If you want to go max, is 4.8 grains and it's 939. If you go with 158 hollow point jacketed, in the unique powder you use 7.7 grains and it gives you 1040, and then the bullseye gives you 1188. That's a high. And you use 10.2 grains and it gives you 1188 feet per second. The highest one is powder N 110. If you use 15 grains, it gives you 1253. That's the highest on this new book. Now, if I go to my old book, that this is the book that I first started loading in the 80s, early 80s. Let me see if it mentions. Okay, 44 mag, 45 Colt, 45 Winchester Magnum, and that's it. They don't even mention the 454 Kazoo because it wasn't around. Okay, so on this one, you have more selection of powders. So 158 hollow point or soft point. The soft point has a better ballistic efficiency. It's 190. And the, let me see, blue dot gives you 1328 with 13 grains. Green dot gives you 7.5, gives you 1103 with 7.5 grain. And bullseye gives you 1123 with 7.1 grain. And the hottest IMR 4227, it gives you 1241 feet per second and 17 grains of powder. That's the hottest load. And then the hottest from that will be the powder 296. I don't know who makes that one. And it's 1326 with 17.8 grains. Then they have a 160 grains. And let's see. Okay, the hottest one is 1348 feet per second with 17 grains, and it's 296 with 160 grain. They have an 180 grains, and this is for the Thompson Contender, Thompson Center Contender. It's a competition gun. They used to have that for shooting plates, metal plates, and that one gives you whoa. This one gives you, with powder 296, it gives you 1,582 feet per second with 16 grains of powder. So this is a hotter powder. Well, actually, no, 296 is the same powder. So 1 grain less, and you get 1582 versus 1326 versus 1348. How can you come up with that with a 180 grain bullet? So the 357 has from the old book, okay, 148 watt cutter. I think I got a bag of that. 806. So it's giving you the speed of a 45 long Colt, more or less. But if you want to go a little hotter, you go green dot 4.4, which is low, and 821. This is a semi-watt cutter. This is not to shoot game or anything. This is just paper. So it starts with 148, 158 round nose, and then it goes down to 110, 125, 140, 146 spear, several lead bullets, 158, 160, and 180. And then it jumps over to there's a 357 Herret that I've never heard of or never seen, and it only has 3 choices. Oh no, here's some more choices. So 140, 158, and 180. Okay. Then the 41 Magnum, which is, I shot it very smooth. I don't know why it never took off. And then the 44 Special, that's also very smooth. And then it went up to the 44 Magnum. They have a round ball 44 Magnum. Never seen that. Okay, so then it goes 120, 240, 200, 225, and 240. That will be the bear load. And the highest speed you're going to get on that bullet is 1380. So more or less you're getting the speed of a 10 millimeter Magnum in a semi-auto. Now let me check the new book. Okay, 357. Oh, it's confusing. It says 357 Maximum. That's the brand of bullet. I don't know who came up with it. And oh, here's where it says 357 Magnum Silhouette loads. Starts at 180, and then it jumps to 200, and then it goes to 357 Maximum, 125, 140, 158, 180, 180, flat nose, and another one is TMJ, then 200 and 200. So let's stick with what we have. 357, 158 grain, blue dot. I got unique. So unique gives me 1040 with a top load of 7.7 and a low load of 6.9, giving me 978 feet per second. I'm not going to start buying other powders because I don't have them, like the IMR 4227. It gives you just 80 feet more per second. And then the highest one is 1253 with 15 grains of N110. And then there's blue dot. I don't have blue dot. So I'll be loading what I have. I'm not going to start buying some more stuff. I got the hollow wood cutter, 148. So that's for Target. So, I think I'll load those and just use them, get rid of them. Okay, this cigar is going out because It's not because it's hard, because I put it back in the humidor and put water in the sponge. It's because it's tight. They wrapped it tight. But you cannot leave it alone without puffing on it every half a minute or so. But as far as the aroma and the flavor, it's there. It's good. Now, if I want to load the 38s, which I also have cases for the 38 with the same semi with the wad cutter, I got unique that gives me 981 5.1 grains, and 110 I don't have that, and 125 I don't have that either. They don't have a lot of. Oh, then you have the 38 plus P. So you have 110, 125, 140, 146. I don't. The 146 is the heaviest for the 38. So you can go blue dot. Apparently, blue dot is more popular than the bullseye because there's a lot of more blue dot loads, or the unique. So for target, which 38 will be for target, I'm not going to load up plus P because what for? To practice with the gun, I'm going to load up with a semi-wad cutter. You can just go boom, boom, double action or single action. Do that. So to practice, I will load up the 38 and just shoot those, and then load up the 357, and then you're gonna have a little more recoil because it's a Magnum, and that's what you want when you have it in the field. You want a Magnum. You don't want a bear showing up and you're shooting 38s at him because it's not really gonna do much in your defense. It might hurt him a little bit. Heard of today in Florida, two bears walked into this. I don't know if it was a trailer park or something, but this is that the bear has rebounded in Florida. There's a lot more bears. So if you leave the animals alone, they'll reproduce like crazy. So to keep the numbers down, they're gonna have to open up a season and sell tags. You have a lot of bears walking into properties and breaking into the kitchens or walking into trailer parks. And I saw I saw one in I think it was in Big Bear that this bear climbed the wall. I don't know how he did it, but the guy had the top window was open, his swing out. The bear climbed onto the first level roof, walked to the side, grabbed the edge of the sill of the window, jumped, grabbed it, climbed it in, boom, got into the house. There was nobody there. Went down the stairs to the kitchen where the guy had some pork chops. I don't know if they were cooked or not, but he picked out on the pork chops. He ate the whole thing. So there's a lot of bears, and there's more bears than before. So, I mean, if it was up to me, I will come up with some sort of a electrical system, alarm system that will scare away the bears from the vehicles or the property. I don't want to shoot everything. I don't want to kill every animal that walks into my property. Let's be realistic. You just got to be careful the animal doesn't try to attack you. Like a coyote could grab a kid by the arm and just drag him out. I mean, it's happened. It's happened here. I mean, in Pasadena, there was a little 3-year-old girl or a 4-year-old girl playing around in the yard, and the mother, I don't know if she looked away or she went to the inside for a minute. She heard some screaming, and there was a coyote taking the kid by the arm, walking him. It was a little girl down the street, and then up to take him up in the hills and kill it. So Glendale had a guy from the fishing game. I think it was a fishing game department that he would get paid just to go hunt coyotes up in the hills. and he would take his calls, and he would just sit in the brushes and just beep, beep, start calling. And then when a coyote popped up, he would shoot him with his rifle, and then go pick him up, and later on they would skin him, and I don't know what they did with the skins, but they had to do that to reduce the numbers because the animals were going into the houses. Um, my lady, when she was single living by herself, she lived in a canyon. Well, not a canyon, it was like next to a wash, and there was a hill behind her house. And one day she came in from partying. She's opening the door. It's pretty dark. She heard some noise, and when she looked around to the street, there were like 12 coyotes in a pack just passing by. And she just froze. She didn't make a move. She didn't make a noise. She didn't do anything. And she says, if I would have just made any noise, they would have turned around and come at me. And when you got 12, a pack of coyotes, like a pack of wolves, they'll bring you down. So she was terrified. She opened the door, boom, got in there and locked. So anywhere you live, by hills and stuff, you're gonna have animals coming down. And I have a friend that he lives in the city. No hills around anywhere, but he's got the LA River half a block away from his house. So what they do, they come down from the hills, they get on the LA River embankment. It's a cement river, and they're using that like a freeway, and they're going down. The hills are from his house. They're about 25 miles away. Easy, 25. And they come down, and wherever they want to get off, they go off the side and jump. I don't know how to get. There's a fence around it. I don't know if they go under it. I'm not sure, but they end up in the streets, and then they're hunting for cats, dogs, anything, because they want to eat. So, so you gotta be careful. Um, we had some coyotes here. I attacked my dog one time, and we came from a barbecue, and he got out of the yard. That didn't figure out how he did it. I found out later because I put a camera. And I'm looking for the dog, and then we walked in the front door, and their pots are turned over. There's dirt, and their plants are out of the pots. And I said, "What happened? There was a fight here, right?" So I'm looking around, and go in the yard, and the dog is not there. So I'm calling him, looking around. Well, he what he did to get away from the coyote, and it had to be a coyote, because if it was a mountain lion, he wasn't going to make it, because what he did is he jumped on the hood of my truck, jumped on top of the camper, and went to the back of the camper. He was laying up there, and he was like, you know, like breathing hard, because it apparently just happened maybe 5 minutes before we got there. So when I saw him, I had to get the ladder. I said, "Come here, Papa, come here, boy," and hugged him. And he leaned against me, and he was breathing hard, because he was fighting, trying to get away from this coyote. Maybe there were two, but they didn't manage to get up there, and he probably fought him off. So after that experience, one day I'm on the computer, I'm working. White comes in running. There's a coyote after Chester. When I come out, it wasn't the coyote after him. It was the dog after the coyote up the street. Just wanted to get him, to get even. And I called them back. So you have to be careful when you have animals, because the coyotes will get to them, because there are too many coyotes. They have to open up a season to keep those numbers down. We had some new neighbors on the other side of the street, and the house was really dark, but there were two dogs in the yard, and they were going yeah, 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 and barking. They were little yappers, very loud dogs. And I'm going, what's going on with these people? How come they don't bring it in? It's 10 o'clock at night already, and these dogs don't shut up. It's So I went knocking, nobody there, completely dark. So the next day I went there, and the lady comes up, it's a young girl, a young woman, and she said, "Oh, we went to Disneyland." And I said, "Well, listen, when you go, wherever you go, don't leave the dogs outside, because they're barking, and besides people trying to sleep, it's already 10 o'clock. You're sounding the alarm bell. She goes, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, there are coyotes and mountain lions up here that they're laying around listening to see what's down the mountain here over here to see what's to eat. And when you hear a dog, they'll come down looking for it, and they'll jump the fence and get them. So if you don't want your dogs to be killed, put them inside the house when you leave. Don't leave them outside because they're ringing the dinner bell. And she goes, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. So, well, now you know. So, I mean, there was my neighbor up the street here. He had a little chihuahua, but it's a big chihuahua. And the dog heard some noise up they got a hill behind their house. He went to investigate, and the lady was standing up. This is at night, about 9:30, and she just heard, ah! That's it. Something got him. Didn't make any noise and never came back. After she heard the little scream, she never saw the dog again. And she was crying. I said, well, you can't leave you got to have him on a leash when you take him out there. And if it was a mountain lion after my dog, he would have jumped that truck. It wasn't even there. He would just jumped over and jump over the top and get him. So I know there were coyotes. Even though the coyotes they jump pretty good, but apparently he defended himself with all his teeth. So gotta be careful. There was a video of a mountain lion. This guy had a camera in the backyard, and there's a mountain lion just cruising the patios. And then 2 houses down from there, they took a video of a mountain lion eating a deer at night. He was just crunching away, eating in the backyard, because he probably got the deer back over there, or probably the deer was in the yard running away from the mountain lion. All right, I know what I got to do, but I'm not gonna do it today because when the day is like this, I get cavey. I don't feel like doing nothing. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one.